The Intuitive Wellness Cafe podcast is hosted by me, intuitive eating wellness coach Deanna Kozarov. My mission is to show women that health and wellness can be achieved without the pursuit of weight loss, counting calories, and spending hours in the gym punishing yourself. I am taking back health and wellness from diet culture and showing women that they don't have to succumb to diet culture standards to feel good in their body and find joy in life. I'll be coming on the podcast to talk about a variety of topics that will help you on your journey to food freedom, movement, and how to care for your body and life. It is my hope that by having this podcast, you will have the mental and emotional space freed up to enjoy life instead of constantly worrying and stressing over food and exercise, and live the life that you deserve. Let's get started. Welcome back to Intuitive Wellness Cafe podcast. I hope you're well and good. Today, I am going to chat about how to set goals out of love and not fear. And before I start, just want to remind you about my free starter guide, Making Peace with Your Plate, that will be available at the link in the show notes. It will give quick tips that you can start today when it comes to having a much calmer, stress-free relationship with food and your body. So be sure to grab that. It's a pretty good guide. And I was thinking about how, since, this is called the Intuitive Wellness Cafe podcast, I named it that because I wanted to create an atmosphere where we're sitting down like in a coffee shop or in a cafe or into my home over like a cozy beverage like coffee and discussing these things. And I thought about, I think it would be fun if we talk about, what our go-to coffees are for the day or beverages rather. For me, today am drinking a coffee from my Nespresso machine, and I drizzle a little bit of dark chocolate syrup in there. And the past couple of days, I've been drinking more of the more like milky, cold type of drinks. I've been starting to make more frappes now that it's summer. It's going to be summer soon. The days are getting warmer. I'm sure you're familiar with like the Greek frappes. They're popular in a lot of like the Greek restaurants and cafes. Or if you go overseas in many parts of that part of the world, they tend to serve frappes. And they're a really fun drink to have, especially in the summer. But I tend to mix it up. So depending on my mood and the day and how I'm feeling, like I said, the past 2 days I've had, like the cold, milky coffee type drinks. So I've been kind of like, time for me to switch it up and wanted something a little bit more simpler and basic. And it's okay to switch it up sometimes. I would love to hear what your go-to beverage is for the day. Like what type of coffee you get, what's your go-to coffee, or maybe you don't drink coffee, maybe it's tea, maybe it's kombucha. I would love to hear what your go-to beverage is in the mornings. You can reach out to me, Deanna at DeannaKozarov.com. I'll put the email address in the link, or in the show notes rather. And let me know. I think it'd be a fun way to connect and get to know each other. So, in the non-diet intuitive eating space, we approach goals differently than the norm. The goals tend to be more sustainable, like in the long term, and they're rooted out of love, out of compassion, out of imperfectionism, out of still believing you are enough, and not out of like fear or guilt or shame. Like, sure, you want to set goals because that's how you grow and evolve and improve, but doing so in a lovingly manner is much more attainable than out of fear. For example, a loving goal I have set myself is to move my body 3 times a week using a combination of strength training, bar exercises, and walking so that I can keep up with my kids in the future, grandkids rather, be able to carry my own groceries, being able to move heavy furniture, have energy to do the things I want to do. And not in hopes to lose weight and shrink my body or punish my body or think it's not good enough or because Sally Health Guru over there said I won't be good if I don't, and so forth. Also, keep in mind that no matter if you achieve working out 3 times a week or not, while using this example, you are still a good person, you are still enough, and you're still worthy. You're still a person that exercises. You're still a person that runs. You're still a runner. And so forth. So I wanted you to ask yourself, do I accept my enoughness whether or not I reach my specific goal? Am I making the results mean something about me, or am I just having fun with the process? Taking imperfect action is better than not taking any action at all, because otherwise you'll be waiting forever. Moving my body in hopes of losing weight, shrinking my body so I can be more accepted in society and so forth is rooted in fear that would only sustain you for so long. And then you will think, I just need more willpower, more discipline, and that works until it doesn't. You want to feel freedom around your goal, not feel trapped or oppressed. Goals need to come from an intrinsic aspect and not from the external. I'm sure you've heard of the term SMART goals, SMART. It's used very often in the corporate world. It's very used often in many industries, actually, and I'm sure in the wellness industry as well. It's very restrictive, when you create goals out of that concept. And in our world here, in the non-diet wellness world, we don't go by SMART goals. Always check in with the goal you have set for yourself as you are doing the things to move towards the goal. Ask yourself, how are you feeling? What are the thoughts coming up through the actions? Does it feel aligned, or has your goal changed? Goals and how you get there can ebb and flow. There's nothing set in stone. You always can pivot or adjust or tweak as you go along. Can you think of a goal you are working on, and is it out of fear or love? Think about it for a sec. You can reach out if you want me to help you assess if it's out of fear or love. If you'd like, I would love to hear them. You can email me, like I said earlier, the email address, deanna@deannakozarov.com. I'll put in the show notes. I also explore this with my clients in my one-to-one private coaching program. So when you want to work on things like what we just talked about today, as well as other aspects of our health and wellness that does not require dieting or obsessive workouts or goals out of fear and shame, I do have a one-to-one private coaching program. I will add the link in my show notes to the details of my one-to-one private coaching program, and go ahead and apply, and I will then respond back to you, and we can go from there. And as always, please leave a review, share this episode and podcast with others that you feel would benefit. This would help get the word out more about this podcast and the messages that I talk about here. Thank you for listening, and I will chat with you on the next episode.